Welcome to TMZ Live. Charles here.
I'm Alex Michelson, filling in for Harvey Levin. Good to be back with you.
Good to have you here. We promise you this is not an April Fool's joke, what you're about to hear. It is an actual lawsuit filed by an attorney in federal court about Diddy and an alleged freak-off that went down in Miami in April 2015. So exactly 10 years ago. They say this was a party for Diddy's son, King Combs, but all the names involved here are huge.
Huge.
Talking Beyonce, Jay-Z, LeBron James. Now, all of those people are just witnesses, according to this lawsuit.
And strangely enough, Gloria Estefan.
Gloria
The
Estefan.
rhythm is going to get you, Gloria Estefan.
Yes.
And her husband, Emilio.
Yes. And now, again, all witnesses. Emilio is actually a defendant in this lawsuit, along with Diddy. But here is the story as told by a man named Joseph Manzaro in this lawsuit that we obtained this morning. He says that he showed up at this party, or woke up at this party, and didn't understand how he got there, that he's insinuating clearly that he'd been drugged, but woke up and at one point saw Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan, and Gloria is saying, hey, we need to get him medical help because he's too drugged up.
Get an ambulance, get him out of here.
And according to Manzaro, Emilio steps in and says, no, we're not doing that, and shoves Gloria out of the way, and then they take this guy through a tunnel from the Estefan's house to Diddy's home. Now, this is on Star Island in Miami. They do actually live near each other. Mm-hmm. So that part of it is, that's a fact that anybody can find.
Sure.
But what happened once he got into this party at Diddy's house is outrageous. And I know we're supposed to take every lawsuit seriously because we don't know, we weren't there. The Gloria Estefan part, that's just the start. How Beyonce gets involved. So listen to this. He says that at one point he's being walked around the party and he looks up and sees Beyonce. And she says, what's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a blank mask, another word for penis, mask standing here in front of me?
Yeah, apparently they put on him a penis mask on his head. So he's wearing almost no clothes, according to his lawsuit, and a penis mask. And that was a jarring sight for people.
And LeBron James also saw him at one point and said, y'all better do something about that. It goes on. There's more. It is one hell of a story.
Yeah, look, this is one of the most shocking lawsuits I've read. If this had been the first Diddy lawsuit, our jaws would be on the floor, but there's a quality to it that sounds like almost a screenplay being written because he says he was lapsing sort of in and out of consciousness, and he's hearing voices of celebrities throughout this lawsuit. There's obviously the mask that he says he was wearing and being degraded and humiliated. There's also a bit of a Mad Libs quality of the other defendants. There's people who have sued Diddy before. A woman named Audria English is a defendant in this lawsuit. She's been a plaintiff in another lawsuit against Diddy. So it's hard to make heads or tails of this if this is just so late in the game that it's someone who is very familiar with the people and the players in Diddy's life that they could put together a lawsuit, or if it's something that happened.
Or if it's something that happened and the reason that you recognize the names is they are people
who are really in Diddy's circle.
Who were in Diddy's circle. It also mentions a guy named Brendan Paul, who you'll recall when the raids went down, was arrested by the authorities and charged as basically allegedly being a drug mule for Diddy. He is mentioned in this lawsuit as well and is actually one of the defendants. So
I will say one of the good things about a lawsuit like this is there's a lot of potential witnesses, and they'd have to all be on the same page and all lying about the same thing. It's harder to do than sort of lawsuits that are built around a private setting where it's he said, she said. This would, the guy says it happened at a party, so there would presumably be people who could verify it or say it didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems. Yeah. You're right. When you mention all those people, they may all have alibis.
Well, Jay-Z certainly seems to have one.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z has mentioned that he's there with Beyonce, but we know that Jay-Z was in New York
Yes.
the night that it was supposed to be. Now,
the night of King Combs of his birthday, which happens to be April 1st. Happy birthday.
Is it possible that he got on a private jet afterwards in New York and flew down there? Possible. But
yeah, I don't know. LeBron James, I don't know. Look, he was playing for the Cavaliers at that point.
Yeah.
Though I did look on the schedule from 2015, the Cavs were playing the Miami Heat. So on April 2nd, so maybe he would have been in. Look, these are all allegations, very wild allegations laid out in this lawsuit. As Derek said, there are elements of it that sound like some of the other lawsuits. But we have not heard a response back from Diddy at this point.
Well, no, Diddy's attorneys said that not credible at all. This complaint demonstrates the depraved lengths plaintiffs will travel to garner headlines in pursuit of a payday. No sane person reading this complaint could credit this story. It goes on to say basically that he's looking forward to his day in court when he's going to get to prove all of this wrong, which is something that we hear over and over again for all of these lawsuits.
Because we've seen dozens of them. And remember, the federal case the criminal case is going to go first. That starts in May. And then whatever after the outcome of that, then all of these lawsuits that we've been telling you about for months and months now, then Diddy will start dealing with all of those.
Presumably, though, if he was found not guilty in the federal case, that makes it harder for these other cases in terms of the jurors' minds, even if it legally is not supposed to.
Right.
Hi, I'm Tiffany from St. Louis, currently joining you from San Francisco. I think that there might be a few truths thrown in there somewhere to some of these allegations, but this one almost seems like a fan fiction, or like there are parts of it that just seem a little fabricated. You know, like word salad, all the celebrities thrown in there. And usually it comes back that they weren't even anywhere near the area. It might be a strategy by his lawyers, but who knows?
Some of those quotes are hard to believe. But by the way, Gloria Estefan comes across great.
Yes, she was trying to help him. She was trying to help him.
She's the best person in the whole thing. And by the way, we should remind people that if you want to learn more about Diddy's defense, there's this great TMZ documentary called The Downfall of Diddy, His Defense, available for free right now on Tubi. And also, you can find another great TMZ documentary about Wendy Williams and her fight for freedom.
And Wendy Williams, nice transition.
Yeah.
As a pro.
And promoting you at the same time.
Love it. Wendy Williams having a big day because some of her fans and a former co-worker showed up outside the assisted living facility where she is, as she has described it, being held prisoner on the 5th floor there. And this is a protest, a free Wendy protest outside the building. And they wanted Wendy to see them, and they got it. Wendy came to the window, was waving to everyone.
How you doing?
You know that. I'm sure she was probably saying, how you doing?
Yeah.
And you can tell that she is really enthused by the turnout from her fans. And she really wants to get the Free Wendy movement rolling here as she tries to get out of the conservatorship or the guardianship. But one of the people who was in that crowd, Suzanne Bass, a name that fans of her show, Wendy's show, would remember. She is one of the producers of that show, and she told us why it was important for her to be there. She has been in touch with Wendy. This is what she had to say about the protest.
How long do you think it's before Wendy is actually free?
Oh, I have no clue. I hope sooner than later, because #Free Wendy. All day, every day.
And you're out here in the cold.
We're out in the cold, and we're here for our girl Wendy, and we're waiting for her to lift that shade up so I can wave to her. I have not seen her yet. I talk to her almost every day.
No way.
I talked to her this morning, and she's excited.
Is she in good spirits?
She's
excited?
in great spirits. Wendy's very, very excited to see everyone. She's excited to see the turnout, and I'm ready to see her so I can wave to her.
It's amazing when you think about how Wendy looked when she was talking with Harvey from that same window, and was so desperate and so sad and felt so lonely.
See her today,
and you see that where she was crying out for help. And to see her today with the makeup on, with the hat, smiling, happy, she looks like a different person.
We know this from just in our communications with her. She has some hope now.
Yeah.
And you can see that it's making a big difference to her. And I'm sure having the fans down there is going to really boost her spirits.
Hi, Gloria, New Jersey, commenting on Wendy Williams. First of all, Wendy looks absolutely beautiful. And just to see the support that she's getting from the fans is everything. I myself wished I had been out there protesting along with them, just to be there supporting Wendy. I'm ready to see her get reintegrated with her family and just reintegrated to life and to just live. Because Wendy is a bigger than life personality, and I'm ready to see her get back to life.
Yep, a lot of fans feel exactly
It
that.
seems like we're headed there.
I certainly hope so. That's it does look that way. You just never know until the case actually gets into court. So we'll see. All right, when we come back, the battle between the vice president and a Politico reporter, a very public battle that went down over deportation. We're going to be joined by the reporter who went toe-to-toe with Vice President Vance, and the case they're arguing about will absolutely shock you. How a man who was going to pick up his son from school ended up in an El Salvadoran prison when he actually was not supposed to be on that plane. And the Trump administration admits it.